You are now watching The Lone Blown. Blown! Use code The Lone Blown to save when you're registering for Hyperlux events. It will save you on your registration, and there's some large prizes. Be sure to check it out. Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? We're back here at The Lone Blown, and we're going to be checking out one of the new decks from Darkness Ablaze. That is our Home Slice Eternatus VMAX. Arguably one of the most hyped up Pokemon coming out of Darkness Ablaze, beyond Crobat, which this deck does play 4 copies of, so if you haven't already picked up some codes, be sure to pick up some codes for this set. This is kind of like Skyfield mixed with Mega Rayquaza EX. So you can get an 8 bench as long as they're all dark types. So all the Pokemon in this deck are dark types, so if you're a dark type lover, you will love this deck. So you can have a big bench, you hit for each of those bench Pokemon. So for each of your dark Pokemon in play, so you're hitting 270 damage turn 2 with Dread Ends. 340 HP. This deck's absolutely a beast. And we kind of have filler Pokemon here as well. And when I say filler, they all do their job. It's just they all want to chill on the bench. So we got a couple copies of Absol here. I originally didn't have Absol on my list, and I thought about it, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of decks that are still playing Jirachis, especially for the POG. I don't know if we'd be playing Absol post-rotation, but for the POG, Atlas POG, this is what we're going to be adding into the deck. Not going to really be attacking with Shadow Seeker, but we do have Dark Ambition to stop our opponent when they're chilling in the active. We got the copies of Crobat V, so this is just for us to draw some extra cards. Again, it's more bench fodder, so we just want to get our bench all filled up. Got 4 copies of Zigzagoon. We could play some damage counters. Maybe we can get those Okos with Eternatus VMAX. And got a couple copies of this Hoopa. I don't really like the text of Alolan Meowth or the other Hoopa. I think this one just doing straight up 90 feels really good. None of the other ones really compare. And maybe that's just like with my testing or anything. I could see in one world where you're playing against Eternatus VMAX and the other Hoopa that does for each of the abilities isn't out there, but I don't know. Got a copy of Yveltal-GX, got to use it while we still can. We're using it really for Doom count here, so if our opponent's active Pokemon has 4 damage counters, which we're going to get with Zigzagoons, we could also get it with Eternatus V with a Zigzagoon. We could just get an Oko. Try to save that for a 3 prize card Pokemon, or maybe just like a 2 prize card and up, we'll say. Got 4 copies of Great Ball because we do play 21 Pokemon and we do need to get Pokemon out. We have 4 copies of Quick Ball, so we want to just be able to search out our Pokemon. Scoop up nets to abuse those Zigzagoons and get out of the active spot. A couple copies of Switch. Got Black Market Prism Star, so if our opponent does not find a way around this, they're just drawing less prize cards for our Pokemon. Seems pretty good to me. A few copies of Boss Orders to bring up whatever we want to knock out. The standard Marnie research package. Couple copies of Air Balloon. We play Air Balloon because they could just stick on some of these Pokemon. See, 1 retreat, 1 retreat, 2 retreats, 1 retreat, 2 retreat, 2 retreat. So as long as it's not an Eternatus VMAX, you can kind of pivot between it. So it makes it a little bit better than Switch in a deck like this. Got 4 copies of Capture Energy. I know a lot of peeps are like, yo, do we play Hiding Darkness Energy? Do we play Capture Energy? Do we play Weakness Guard? I like Capture Energy because it goes with the whole Dread End strategy. And then we have enough darks to make everything work out. Is this the absolute best list for Eternatus VMAX? I don't think any YouTuber, streamer, pro player is going to figure it out until after the Atlas POG. And largely it doesn't matter. Do I think this deck is consistent enough to get the job done? Yes. Is this deck a great deck to go from day 1 to day 2? Yes. Arguably it's one of the best decks in the formats, just due to its pure strength. So I would say give the Dread End Eternatus big old hand Pokemon a try, especially if you're able to acquire all the cards on PTCGO. It's not a cheap deck, with each one of these being like 20 packs, each one of these being 10 packs, and each one of these being like 30 packs, on top of everything else that you need from the deck. Those prices might change a little bit, and they might have gone down since when I picked stuff up, but this deck is a pretty hefty deck, so do consider that. Anyways, we're going to jump into a couple games, and since this is going to be our first PTCGO video of the week, I'm going to try to change it up and do at least 2 games with each deck, just so you can see a little bit more how the decks work as I work to make the best videos on this channel. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and remember to subscribe for more The Lone Blown action. Alright, let's jump into the... Okay, so we're calling that flip. We really want to go first with our deck, and us winning this flip sounds busted. So yes, we want to go first so we can attach an energy to our Eternatus V. And it seems like they already gave that to us as well. So, I mean, absolutely no complaints with a hand like this. We're ready to start things up, and we'll see exactly what our opponent has going on over here. They started with the Dene, there's a Dark Energy. Now, we could go Quick Ball to search for a Crobat. I think we could play down a lot of these cards during our turn. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm probably just going to pass at this point. It also, by us not playing down a lot of cards, our opponent's likely not to Marnie us, and our hand's absolutely insane. Oh, they got Crushing Hammers on deck. What the heck? So the Crushing Hammer part's going to hurt a little bit. Maybe they're playing some kind of weird control deck. They are playing Inteleon VMAX. That might be a difficult matchup for us, because they can continuously lift our energies back. So we're going to change the way that we play this matchup out, and we're going to try to go for the Power Accelerator attack with Eternatus V. So they're probably just going to go Inteleon VMAX. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to have Articuno in their deck. This is a deck that I think is a lot better post-rotation. I actually posted a video of this on the channel about a week ago. So feel free to check that out. It's just a really interesting... It's interesting for sure. I don't think it's necessarily good for this format, and the reason why, it doesn't really perform well with the Vikavolt Vs, heading into the Atlas POG, Pika ROMs. There's just like, not that Pika ROM's really that popular, Vikavolt would just absolutely tear this deck up. And that's all that's into it. When it comes into post-rotation, the Inteleon V and VMAX, they're a little bit better once it comes to just things in general, like there's no weakness. Okay, so we did get a Marnie. In that case, I will go ahead and just, we're gonna rip the Zigzagoon away. We probably don't need that. We're gonna grab an Eternatus V, because we don't really need to worry too much about it. We got our Air Balloon there. We do have our Dark Energy. And we're gonna go Marnie and hopefully get a Dark Energy in our hands. So we didn't get a Dark Energy. That's okay. Let's go for Great Ball. So this is where the Crobat V is going to be very helpful for us. Do we want to waste the Scoop Up Net? Probably. We really just need to get more energies in play. So again, we didn't really get the energy that we're looking for, which is going to make it a little bit difficult for us. So let's just go ahead and retreat. You can see that the new updates been applied. We're going to retreat into this Hoopa. We could always Scoop Up Net it back. It's just because the Inteleon VMAX can lift the energy off of our active, and our opponent's already gone through 2 Crushing Hammers. If we could just get set up at some point, we'll be very good. There's an Air Balloon. They're probably just going to go VMAX here. Yep, and they're going to take our energy and put it back into our hands. I'm still cool with this. We shouldn't really worry too much. We got a lot of outs. They're going to take our energy, yeet it back into our hand for 60 damage. Not the biggest loss. It's just when they start wiping 2 of our energies off the board. So, a little bit of a weird game so far, especially when it's energy denial can be tough for Eternatus VMAX, especially in this build. But that's okay. We're going to go here with Capture Energy. Our opponent didn't really do anything beyond the boss orders. I do want to get out an Yveltal-GX here. I think we can get around it pretty nicely. There's no point of us doing anything else with this hand, unfortunately. So we're going to go here and go Power Accelerator. And then I'm going to attach the energy here. So now we have double energy in play. Our opponent can't rip both off with Hydro Snipe, so they're going to have to play something such as Team Yellgrunt and another energy. Now, they might just decide to go for the knockout. Yeah, they're just going to discard the one off the bench. So there's us losing 2 energies this turn, which makes it really tough. So while Inteleon VMAX is not a popular deck, or it should not be a popular deck at the Atlas POG, because it does lose very much so to Vikavolt, this is a matchup that we can struggle against. But next turn, don't worry, I'm just going to get the knockout on the Inteleon VMAX with the Yveltal-GX. At least that's the current plan at this moment. So our opponent might struggle losing 3 energies. We'll see how it goes. Don't know if they have any healing or anything like that. but we'll have to check out and see exactly what they got. Just waiting for our opponent here. Perfect. So they're going to go 60 there. 160, 60. Got it. So we're just going to send up our Yveltal-GX here. And we can just go Eternatus VMAX at this point. I'm okay with that personally. I do want to try to get that dark energy, so we are going to go ahead and rip this back up. So we do have the dark energy. That will be a knockout. And let's go ahead and Marnie our opponent while we're at it. So our goal now is just to knock out their Inteleon VMAX, see how it goes. Really not the biggest, not the most difficult thing. And we will be drawing 3 prize cards as well. Now we only play 7 copies of Darkness Energy, so we do want to be careful that we're not going to be running out of those. But our opponent has used 3 Crushing Hammers and has got heads twice. This is only our 3rd Dark Energy, so we got some time here. We might even be able to get the one-shot on the Inteleon VMAX. It doesn't look like they play healing. They play a lot more disruption. They've lost more energies than us at this point. So if they go and try to lift the energy off the Yveltal-GX, I feel pretty good about that. I don't know why they're... I mean, the Giant Bomb is fine since they're playing the DAA anyways. Really seems at this point they don't have much healing, if any healing. They do look like they play Rose Tower, but that probably doesn't matter too much at all either. I do like the Rose Tower combo that they can play in this deck, though. Sounds kind of spicy. Also fine with Marnie, there's nothing particularly strong in his hands. Yeah, so them attacking into the Yveltal-GX is fine, because we do get our energy back. They may put it. I think they're still deciding upon that. It's probably better for them to keep the energy there, yeah. So there's that. We're just going to try to go through our deck as much as possible. I don't really care too much. Does that say bench Pokemon? Yeah. Let's go ahead and bench this Hoopa. Let's go ahead with research here. Not great because we did not get an energy. Let's see what we can get with this Great Ball. Nothing. Let's see what we can get with this Great Ball. We were really looking for a Crobat there. Absol's not going to really matter. Let's just go ahead and go Absorb Vitality for 20. Because that's the only attack that we could do. Really unlucky for us to miss an energy there. Or Crobats. Especially considering we have access to 3... another 7 energies in our deck. So between our prize cards in our deck, 26 cards, we do have 7 energies in there. We're still chilling though. Our opponent's not able to use their max bullets. And the Marnie, if anything, makes our hand better. Our hand was not particularly strong here. So there's a Dark Energy, there's a Crobat. We should be able to go through most of our deck at this point. And they're not going to give us our energy back. That's going to be a given. Oh, what? That's crazy. It's almost as if they knew that we had a Crobat in our hand. But let's see if we can get anything off this Crobat. Let's go Quick Ball, discarding a Zigzagoon for an Absol. And let's go ahead and go Research. Not the biggest fan of that play. And we are just losing our energy there. Yikes. That's still okay at this point. We're just going to go ahead and pass. Hopefully our opponent's not able to win. There's a Crushing Hammer. Perfect. Hopefully they don't play Team Yellgrunt, or that they don't have a Team Yellgrunt in their hands. I'm actually almost even fine with that as well. Because we can hit for 270. So we should be able to attack our opponent here. The one thing that when I'm always playing this deck is I'm always like, I wish I had more switching cards. So that might be something to consider when we play this deck. Or if you're building the deck, maybe try to add a few more switching cards. That's one of the big things I could think of. And Max Bullet, they're trying to go for the win the next turn. I mean, they've already played 2 boss orders. I really don't expect them to play too many more copies of that card. So let's send up our Eternatus V with the energy. And I mean, we can always try to go for the win here. $270, so we need to get 2 more. I think there's still plenty of cards left in the deck, so let's just try to go for it. And we actually missed our energy. So this is quite unfortunate. We would have... The energy or a Crobat or something there would have been insane. I did not think that we were going to get that. Okay, so in this case, our best opportunity is to switch into a Pokemon our opponent, we know that they can't knock out. Or I believe they can't knock out. And we're going to go ahead here and pass. We couldn't attack, we missed the energy. So maybe a little bit of a consistency problem, but they've also been like taking away a lot of our resources. So we'll see what our opponent can do here. Maybe they'll just go ahead for the attack at this point. They have 8 cards left in their deck. I really can't imagine them having a lot of cards left at this point that they could use to disrupt us. They've gone through all their Crushing Hammers, it seems. Yep. Like maybe another Marnie? Uh-oh. What are they gonna do here? Can't tell if they're gonna retreat. They might be like, how is Zach gonna get that everything? Oh wow, they're putting themselves down to 1 card. That's crazy. I'm gonna do 40 damage to a Pokemon. So, unfortunately, again, we are going to miss here. Now, we might put ourselves in a position where it's possible for us to do other things. Our opponent currently can't snipe and win. They've also shown nothing that they can go for extra snipes. So let's go ahead and go... How many boss orders have we played? You wanna what? We're gonna go... We're gonna go Marnie here. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I know we'll be able to get our energy. I know we'll be able to get things down. Let's go Zigzagoon. Hit there. There's no point of us doing anything with this capture energy except attach it. Let's retreat, and let's go ahead and go for a knockout. So there's some of the energies that we prize that we totally could have used earlier. If our opponent has a boss orders, they win the game. If not, we will win the game. No! No! They had the Eldegoss all this time! That's okay. Rough matchup, and a little bit of a whack draws, but it totally happens here. We'll try another game out. Okay, so we're gonna call heads here, since last time we called tails, and we won the flip again! Let's get it! Okay, do we want to go first? Of course we want to go first, because we're playing Eternatus VMAX. So, again, we get the start with the Eternatus V, and we got the Dark Energy. I mean, things are not looking bad here. We don't want to put Pokemon down until we decide what our opponent's playing. They started with Eldegoss, perfect. There's a Dark Energy. Let's drop an Absol on them. Let's go ahead and drop the Zigzagoon on their active. Let's just get that bench Pokemon down in case they Marnie us. And we're going to go past there. So, overall, we got an electrifying turn. We'll see what our opponent's dropping down here themselves. So they discarded a Metal Energy. Oh, and they're playing ADP. Would have been really nice to put the damage on the ADP there, but that's okay. So it looks like they're going to be playing ADP Zacian. Will they get the energy onto their ADP is the big question. And yeah, they're going to get a DAA here and drop their hand like it's hot. They got a really good start here. So our goal is to go knockout, then knock out their ADP, and then get another knockout. That would probably put them in a lot of trouble. So they keep the Eldegoss on active. We need to make sure that we have 6 Pokemon in play. We need 3 more, an Energy, and an Eternatus VMAX. So we'll see how far things take us. Oh, and they're going to bring up the Absol to try to slow us down a little bit. We'll see if that slows us down at all. There's an Yveltal-GX, I'm cool with that. Let's go ahead and go Professor's Research. Need to get out of the active spots. So far this is looking a little crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead here, grab nothing. Let's go ahead here and discarding the Dark Energy, that should be fine. To grab a Crobat V. Draw 5 cards there. Did not get an Eternatus VMAX, and we did not get away out of the active spot. Maybe we'll slow them down with the Absol being there. So we got to pass here. Seems like no matter what we do with this Eternatus VMAX, our opponent always finds a way around it. So they're probably just going to naturally have a switch too, so they don't have to deal with the Absol. Yep. Will we be able to knock out this ADP? So we're a turn behind in this strategy, but we'll see exactly what our opponent can do here. Alright, we already have enough Pokemon in play that our opponent kind of has to knock out, but they've already used 2 boss orders at the same time. They might be in a tough predicament. Yeah, they're just gonna go for the Altered. Okay, cool. Honestly, here, I'm fine just putting the Capture Energy, because that means that we can retreat. I kind of want a Marnie here. I don't want to lose all those basic Pokemon, but at the same time, we still need a lot of stuff. Let's go ahead and research. I hate losing that much, though. Yeah, and here we actually are not able to get the knockout, so we're another turn behind. It doesn't really matter, so let's just go after the Zacian. Let's go ahead and Air Balloon here. Yeah, we were off by 2 Pokemon. So things like, we're getting everything just in the wrong order. So we're 2 turns behind now. We would have been winning the game next turn, which shows how the matchup normally would have gone. There's Mawile. I mean, if we had the Pokemon in play, we totally would have put them down. I just don't know what's in our opponent's hand. If we went with a Marnie, maybe things would have been a little bit better for us. But I don't know what's in our opponent's hand. Oh, wow, they're just going to go Great Catcher, bring that up. Bringing up their Zacian. If they don't get a boss orders, we could be in a really good spot. They might play Eldegoss as well. Not sure about that. Them placing down another Pokemon on their bench might be a little dangerous too. I think that's a little greedy because they might draw into energies and they might not be able to power up. But at the same time, it looks like they needed energy anyways. So there's their energy. Depends on how many energies they have in their hand now. It's always a quick matchup. So there's the knockouts. I mean, not everything that we're looking at. Our opponent does play Eldegoss. It's on their bench. I'm not used to the full art cards. Okay. Okay. Each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. 30 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Yikes. So we gotta be careful about that. Let's go Great Ball here. At this point, I'm fine just putting down a Crobat. Let's power that up. This will be fine. We're going to go ahead and Marnie our opponent. I don't see any reason why not to. And we'll see how it goes. So we got to go Dread Ends. And just hope that our opponent does not have boss orders for the rest of the game. Because I think it's going to be very hard for them to knock us out. They can do 30 for each of our bench Pokemon. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to 40 plus the base 30, 270, 280 damage to this Eternatus VMAX. Interesting. But I don't necessarily think it gets them there all the way. So we just need to hope that they don't get boss orders for the next couple turns. Even though we stumbled a little bit, we're not in the worst position ever. They're just going to go Bird Keeper there. So they're going to draw their cards. So they can't boss orders. They can't win this turn. Maybe they have an escape board, or maybe they have an air balloon. We'll see how they get out of the active spot here. Okay, and they're going to go Intrepid Sword. We'd like to find another Marnie if it's possible, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. No, definitely not. Okay, so they either have it or they don't. And that's basically where we're at this point. Let's go ahead here and attach another energy. Just so we're all fully powered up there. Let's go Dread Ends. They can knock out our active as far as I'm concerned. So if they don't find a boss orders with them using 2 boss orders already, or 3 boss orders already, they can't win the game. Yeah, and then they got the boss orders. They play 4. They got us. It happens. So as you saw, we have gone winless in this video, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a bad deck. It's still absolutely one of the best decks. First off, Inteleon VMAX is not going to be a deck to be on your radar for the Atlas POG. Like I said, it loses to Vigavolt, it loses to the Pikaroms that are still around there, and it can still largely lose to a large portion of the metagame, and it's the reason why I didn't keep up in the Ultra Prism or Rebel Clash metagame. Additionally, our opponent's ADP Zacian, I think, overperformed in some ways, while our deck underperformed. So in best of 1, when we're playing a best of 1 format, which day 2 of the Atlas POG is not going to be, yeah, some random things can happen, especially when you're going on the PTCGO ladder. I think players are largely just experimenting at this moment, while a lot of us are getting prepared for the Atlas POG event. So yeah, they got us this time, but I still think that this list specifically, and this concept is a great play for the day 1 of the Atlas POG, at the very least, and it's something that I'm considering even for day 2, as I have a day 2 invite. There might be some things that I might want to change, considering like there's a lot of tech Pokemon we could choose to put onto our bench, but beyond that, I think this deck is just incredibly strong. Doing 270 damage with Dread End is huge. Just finding that super consistent build that can hit it as often as possible is going to be the wave. So thanks so much for watching this video. Totally appreciate y'all watching up until this point, and we'll stay tuned. Stay tuned for more Lone Blound content. got a lot of great Pokemon stuff on its way. So stay tuned for that and have yourself a great one. Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks and have yourself a great one.